Yes. Oh, yes, we are live. Correct? Hi, guys. How are you doing? Good afternoon, good evening for the people in Holland, and good afternoon for all the people here in Curacao. My name is Nelida Cathalina, and I'm a coach. Specifically, I'm specialized in neuroscience coaching, and it is a pleasure to be here in this live Facebook event invited by Tammy Nivelak from Sharing and Caring. Welcome, welcome. How are you doing? I hope you guys are now logging in, tuning in. Send the invitation to somebody else because we're going to talk about the topic of mindfulness. If you see me once in a while looking at my phone, I'm just trying to see on the Facebook page if I have to answer any questions, or if not, I will answer it later on. Welcome. We are going to talk today about mindfulness. We are living in a very hectic time where worldwide we are dealing with a pandemic. We are dealing with a tension of not getting sick, tension of not being able to travel because we are used to it. But here we are. We are going into almost our second year and we are dealing with this. With that in mind, and I remember the question that Tammy asked on his in his group, and her question was, "Are you mindful or are you mindful?" There is a difference. So if we go to the first slide, we will talk about mindful. Right, Tammy, you're there. Can you put me? Great. Thank you so much. Mindful. With everything that's going on right now, we are living a life where everything is hectic, everything has to be done quickly, and most of the time, everything is now virtual. So there's a lot going on in our minds, a lot going on in our lives. We have to take care of kids that now are at home. We have to take care of our work, or we are afraid that we won't lose our job. And all of that is filling up in our mind and taking up space for the possibility to be creative, for the possibility to relax, for the possibility to take care of us. It's so important to be taking care of you. It's so important to realize that I cannot be living from one occupation of my mind, wondering, worrying, and not really taking time to relax. So it is, or you're going to change the way you're doing things, or you're going to do mindless things. And I'm going to give you a few examples at mindless things that we tend to do all the time. Are you guys there? So let's get started. If we talk about mindless, are those things that we are doing without even thinking about it. And I'm going to give you an example that what happened to me like a month ago. And it was a mindless move. It was a mindless action. And Tammy, if you can change to that word mindless, and you will realize that I am bringing this topic because it's a broad topic. Mindfulness is a topic that has been discussed for such a long time. But we realize, and if you look at positive psychology, we realize that being mindful will change the way you experience life. It will change the quality of life you're having, and it will definitely give you a better chance to live a healthy and happy life. Let me go back to my story, a mindless action. I was driving in Curacao. I live in Curacao. Even though I travel a lot, I live here. So I was in Salina, for the people here in Curacao that know Curacao. And on my way home, I was traveling from Salina to Santa Maria. And when you're driving from Salina to Santa Maria, it comes a time when you have to go through Rio Canario. And there are some traffic lights right there. See how mindless my action was. I drove fast with all of the things going on in my mind. It is when I reach where McDonald's is in Santa Maria that I'm like, oh my God, I went to the red light. Can you imagine how dangerous that is? Because I was driving, but I wasn't paying attention to the driving as such. I was just all these things going on in my mind. I had my mind full of things that need to be done, should have done, or things pending that I was driving without paying attention to how I'm driving. I know I didn't hit anybody nor anything, but it is when I got far away from the lights that I realized that I've been driving to red light. That's how dangerous it is in our lives if we don't start being mindful. So the word is mindfulness, right? Can you put it up, Tammy? And I'm going to explain to you what is mindfulness. Mindfulness is the ability of being fully present and engaged in the moment, aware of your thoughts, aware of your feelings, aware of what you see, aware of what you hear or smell without, and this is important, without distraction or judgment. So I'm going to say it again in different words. Mindfulness is being in the moment to moment, experiencing everything around you, feeling them, hearing them, smelling them, and without judgment. It is key that you understand this word because it's going to make a change in how you live. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about how I started looking and studying this topic. During my process of becoming a neuroscience coach, one of the big topics was mindfulness. And I remember our professor asking us about, are you mindful? Is your mind full or are you mindful? And from that moment, I made a decision that I'm going to do my thesis about this topic of mindfulness. I remember February last year, I was in Switzerland where I experienced the first lockdown. We had a meeting. I was supposed to go to with my daughter to an activity and realize that they are locked down. They closed down, and it was our first experience of being robbed of or taking away your freedom to do something. I didn't make much out of it until I went back to Holland, and when traveled back to Curacao, they closed the border. So I was there for an additional 1 to 2 weeks. Still nothing going on. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna stay 2 weeks longer with my kids and my granddaughter and enjoying it. It is until finally I got to get to Curacao that when I came in, they told me I have to go in quarantine 2 weeks. And still, my mind was like, that means I can jet lag quietly at home and relax. I came in a week before and a week after my husband, and we were both in quarantine. And there it started. When you realize after 2 days of relaxing and coming to your sensing and restoring, and I love that very much, I realize I have another 1.5 week to go. And what am I going to do? What are you doing at this moment when they tell you you cannot go to work? What will you do when they tell you the kids are not going to school? And it is a reality. Right now, you are listening and you are seeing me saying this, and it is our reality. And there is where you have to make a conscious decision, present in the right moment, in this moment, to change the way you live, change the way you do things, to have peace of mind, to have clarity in your mind. Also, clarity, how am I going to manage this? How am I going to manage my home with the kids running in the room and you have to be in the study working? And then you start talking about being mindful, making conscious decision. Let me give you a current example. Right now, you're listening and seeing us. We are sharing this topic. This means that you are here in the moment, not just opening up the Facebook to look at me, but you're really present, experiencing what I'm telling you, turning off your phone, closing the door so nobody walk in, and you're going to direct your attention to what I'm telling you right now. And that is what we call an act of mindfulness, right? Do you understand where we are going with this? That means in every part of your life. You have to make a decision to be mindful, to keep your mind sane, and not to over occupy your mind with everything that is going on. One of the decisions that I made, the news. Let us start there. If I have to drive away, we have the Nummerplaat here in Curacao. If I have to get into my car to go somewhere at 6:30 in the morning, I refuse to start with the news. Not because I do not want to know what's going on, but because if the news is intense or talk show where everybody call in and say whatever they want, I refuse to be entertained, have my peace of mind be taken away with all type of drama, partially truth and partially overreacting. I made that choice for myself. And you are in your situation and you have to think about, what am I doing that is mindless? What am I doing that is stealing my peace? Because when you're mindful, you will not allow anything to take away your peace. The point is this: a lot of things will happen, did happen, is going on in our lives all the time. Meaning that you wake up and you have a flat tire. Meaning that you drive to work and there is a roadblock. Instead of getting there at 8 o'clock, there you are. But when you start thinking about, consciously thinking about what you're doing, experiencing moment to moment, you change the way you're dealing with every hurdle you encounter on a daily basis. So let's go through this. And I'm going to start with a mindful action from the moment you wake up from bed. In the tips that I've been giving in the group Mindfulness by Nelida Cathalina, I have shared with them this, and I'm going to go through this with you. When you get up from your bed, most of the time, we get up and we start running. True or not? When we get up, we start running. And we start moving fast because a lot of things need to be done. We have to put, now the children don't go to school anymore. We still have to prepare. So let's do this. As of today, when you get off your bed, sit on your bed and put your feet on the ground for 5 minutes. Sit right there and let your feet touch the ground for 5 minutes. Breathe slowly, because I'm going to go into that also. Breathe slowly, breathe deep, but sit there for 5 minutes, because there is something very important that we learn in neuroscience training. When you start rushing, adrenaline will be given, will be produced in your head. Adrenaline, when it's produced, gives you tachycardia. Bam, your heart start beating. Bam, bam, bam. But when you get up and sit on your bed for 5 minutes, you're allowing your body to get accustomed to the fact that it was asleep and now I'm waking up. It gives your mind a normal start instead of starting with a push of adrenaline. So when you do that, you're starting off your day mindfully. You put your feet on the ground for 5 minutes and then you stand up. If you can stretch for a minute. Inhale slowly and then start walking. Do your daily routine. But when you're going out to do your daily routine, walk with me for a minute. You're walking out of your bedroom, mindful action. You go and you put some water on because you want to have some coffee or tea. When you do that, don't make your tea, run to the bathroom while your tea is getting cold, go back there, oh my God, it's cold, and warm it up again. No, take your cup of tea, and now we are talking about mindful eating, tasting. Remember what I said? It's about the ability to be in the moment, experiencing everything, what you feel, what you hear, what you smell. That means you're going to engage now in having that tea. That's a mindful act. You're going to make your tea and you're going to zip your tea. And while doing that, you're going to taste the tea or the herb. I love herbs. I have built my small herb tancha right here. Take your herb or your tea or your coffee or your hot chocolate and smell it, taste it, and drink it. That is what we call mindful eating. If you're making a sandwich, and I've seen women do that, and I've done it before, I'm guilty also. Getting to my car with a tea in my hand, the bread at the other one, and while driving, eating, that's mindless. Do you understand the difference? And do you understand the different outcome when you start being mindful? So you make a conscious decision. I'm talking about consciously make a conscious decision to eat your breakfast in your living room, sitting, eating slowly, swallowing slowly, drinking your tea, tasting everything. Your heart rate, you will have a normal heart rate when you do that. Your digestive system will accept the food in a better way. It will be processed much better than driving around, biting into your bread, and drinking your tea or coffee. And all of this, and if there are mothers, and I'm sure because I'm a mother also, you're like, I have so much thing to do. If you're working, I understand you have to be at work early or on time. You know what that means? Instead of getting up at 7:30, mindfulness will tell you wake up at 7 because I will take 30 minutes to ground myself, stand up, stretch, have my tea, have my coffee, and have a sandwich, or simply have some fruits. But I'm taking time to do that. It will regulate much better your digestive system. It will regulate how you feel, how you think, how you go through life. But mind you, if you woke up late, drive to work, but when you get there, stop. Stop for a minute in your car and breathe and make a decision. The bread and the tea, if I'm having it at work, when I'm having it at work, girls, ladies, gentlemen, don't do it behind your keyboard. That's another mindless thing that we tend to do, right? We are eating, walking while eating, or we are typing while eating, we are answering our colleague, we are answering emails, we do all of this mindlessly. And we are living a hectic time, so it's in your hand to do it differently. Tammy, can you change the slides? And I have put some keywords. That's all I'm going to do today. I put out some keywords that I'm going to talk about and walk with you through it. And already starting walking with you through it. Let me tell you my story before I go to practicing. And I told you already, here I am in quarantine, the first quarantine at home. And I realized that if I am not going to change the way I do things, it might get me frustrated because I'm active all the time. And here I am, I'm wondering, okay, what am I going to do? And there is something that I love very much. That is, I love my flowers. I love my herbs, playing in my small garden here at the back. So I said, you know what? I'm going to relax my mind and I'm going to do one mindful act every single day. But also, I'm going to try to live day by day a mindful life. From getting off from my bed until I get back into bed. I'm going to go through that also when I'm going to sleep. So I started playing with my plants outside. I wake up early because I don't like the sun too much. I love the sun, but I don't want to sit in the sun in my garden. So I wake up around 6 o'clock. Normally I would go to swim around 5:15. When I get back, I just go into my garden. I put a chair there and I'm gonna water my plants, talk to them, looking at the colors, smelling how they smell. And when you touch a herb, it smells very good. So I decided to have that action, put that action into my daily living since I was in quarantine, because normally I will get up, go out there, cut my herb, make my tea, and move forward. Now I decided I'm going to talk to my herbs, look at them, look at the colors of the flowers, smelling them, and ground myself, restore my mind, restore my spirit, and pray, because that's also something that get me some calmness in all that is going on. Whatever it is that you do, take the time to ground yourself. Even though your kids are at home, they will go to sleep on time, or you tell them the coming 30 minutes, you're going to play because mom is going to relax. Mom is going to the room, make my spa experience in my bathroom, and read or just relax. Breathe. You need to do this because we are in a hectic time, but it's in your hand to live a mindful life. And it's all about practicing. You might be listening and you will think, oh my God, I've been living a mindless life, or my mind is full with other things. Or you might be thinking, I'm a mother of four and I don't know when to do that. But it is about practicing. You can even, and if you go to the page Mindfulness by Nelida, you will see all those mindful activity for kids also. You can even have a activity for your kids that is mindful, so you keep them busy for those 30 minutes that you're going to relax. They can do this on their own if you prepare the moment, if you prepare everything that you have to prepare, so they are mindfully having a mindful activity. You can relax without having to run behind and tell them, don't do this and don't do that. So it's all about the decisions that you make, and it's about practicing. That means that after you listen to this event, this live event with us, you can go and think about which mindful activity can I do. What is it that I can do that will make my life easier and the people I'm living with easier and mindfully? So it's about practicing, practicing, and practicing again. And believe me, and I have been through that also. Sometimes it will go wrong. Sometimes you will make a mistake like, oh my God, that was mindless. And I'm still doing it. But then go back and like, okay, I want to try to be more mindful. What can I do? What should I check off? And what should I not do again because it's a mindless act? Next slide. So it's about practicing, but it's also about breathing. Breathing is so key in the whole process of mindfulness because, as I said before, when you're rushing, your heart rate will be higher, your mind will be pumping adrenaline to your head, through your body, and you will feel it all over your body, but also how you breathe, right? So when you start feeling anxious, the best thing that you can do is try to breathe or control your breathing. With control your breathing, I mean you inhale fully and you exhale slowly. So when you inhale fully, you hold it for like 10, like 10, 9 until you get to 1, and you exhale. All of that will calm down your heart rate, but it will calm down the trembling in your body. It will calm down your digestive system. It will calm down your mind. So everything that you do when you start feeling anxious, even when you get angry, if you stop for a minute and count down from 10 to 0, automatically your breathing will be going slowly down to 0 also, meaning you're controlling your breathing. So, if there is something that I need you to understand when we talk about mindfulness, it's about the fact that you're in control. You can be in control of what is happening in your life, and you're supposed to be. Dear mothers, dear fathers, dear professional women, you're supposed to be in control of your life. And there are a few external things that we cannot control. But if it is about my body, if it is about my life, if it is about my decision that I make, I can control that by putting in every day practicing everyday mindfulness. So your breathing is important. I have shared it this week online with a dear daughter of mine, mindfulness breathing activities. You can Google it. In YouTube, you will find a lot of exercises that you can do in the morning, when you're at work, or when you're going to sleep, or simply when you feel your heart is pumping too fast. It's a 5 minute activity. It's a 5 minute exercise to calm down your heart rate, calm down your breathing. Because if you calm down your breathing, more oxygen will go through your mind so you can think clearly and definitely make better decisions. Right? I know it's a topic that might be heavy. I'm going to try to break it down into small pieces that you can understand that it's in your hand to live a more mindful life. Next slides. Body scan. And I want to teach you this. When I was in Holland, I just came back from Holland, by the way, 2 weeks ago. And when I was in Holland, I went to the chiropractor. I did like 2 weeks every day, and then the last 2 weeks every other day for my bones, for some nerves that were locked into my bones. And they gave me some exercises too that I do every day, and some of them every other day. And when I'm doing these exercises, I remember the body scan. And I practice that also. And what do I call body scan? It's not a scanner at the airport. No, this is a body scan that you can do at home, and it's easy. You don't need anything to do a body scan. It is simply put a big training mat on the floor. It's part of the mindfulness activity. Put a mat on the floor and lay down. Put your hands next to you. Close the door. Don't put any music at this time. And lay down on your back and start scanning through your body. When I say scanning, I mean move your toe, feel them. Remember what I said, what is mindfulness? The ability of being fully present and engaged. It's a moment to moment experience. Now you're going to do this body scan, experiencing. You move your toe and you feel them, but now really move them and you feel them. Feel your foot. Feel, and you're coming up. You start with your toes moving up until you move up to your head. I mean, lay down and feel your hands in your mind. Feel how it feels to have your back on the floor. How it feels to have your hands next to your body. Think about your fingers and feel them. Think about your legs and feel them. Think about your belly and feel them. Think about your breast and feel them in your mind. Just scanning like that, your body and feeling your full body. You know what happened when you do that? Lay down on the floor. Let me tell you what happened first. I did it with a group of people. The first thing, everything will go through your mind, the things of the day. And one of the things that will go through your mind is, oh my God, what am I doing? But once you start, remember I said practicing? Once you start doing it again and again, you start scanning in your mind your body. You know what I realize? Sometimes I'm like, oh my God, I have this blower plaque. I'm like, when did it happen? Because of a mindless action, I hid my body somewhere and didn't realize. And I get a blower plaque, a blue plaque on my body very fast. But I don't even know when it happened. It was because of a mindless action. Because you hit your body somewhere in a chair or a table, but you have so many things to do that you have no time to stop and feel the pain. And when you do this body scan, you will realize there are places in my body that hurt that I didn't realize. There are places in my body that I didn't take the time to know that there was something there. Sometimes you scratch your body and you didn't even realize. You didn't feel the pain at the moment because you're rushing. And due to the adrenaline rushing telling you something has to be done or I have to do something, you don't feel the pain at that moment. But when you're sitting, you're like, oh my God, when did I hit myself? Because it was a mindless act. So I'm teaching you this because I have done it. I'm not teaching you this because I only read about it or did my thesis about it. I've done it. I lay down on the ground, on the floor, and the days that you can go to the beach, that would have been awesome. But now that we cannot go to the beach, lay down on the ground, on the floor, turn everything off, not a word, nor anything. Just listen to your body. Feel it in your mind. Feel the sensation of your feet, your hands, your finger. And you do that for 10 minutes and you see how fast your blood pumping into your head will lower and you will feel quietness, peace. You know, when I go into my prayer room, that's one of the things that I do. I will lay down before I start praying or reading the word of God. I just lay down there and cool down. Let my body get in tune with my inner peace. When I get to that moment that I'm quiet, caring for myself, looking at myself, and just feeling everything in my body. That is what it is, a body scan. And it's an amazing thing to do with friends also. Once you're on the same thinking level and in the same mindfulness, you can practice this with your friend and then share that experience. Let me tell you, if I was able to have this workshop again, we would have done that, a body scan. That is an amazing thing to do. It is unlocking a lot of things in you when you realize, oh my God, I was so tired. The first time I did it, I realized I was so tired that I had to do it again. And I made it a habit to do it every other day or every day, the body scan. So let's go to the next one. How are you guys doing? Great. Okay, let's go to the next one, and it is your thoughts. Your thoughts are powerful. With your thoughts, you can change the way you feel. That's why it's so key that you decide what am I allowing in my mind? Because it will affect your thoughts. Your thoughts will affect your action, and your action will influence your life. With that said, can you imagine how powerful it is? Positive thoughts, positive reinforcements, positive quotes. Remember, I said you will get off your bed and you sit next to your bed, put your feet on the ground for 5 minutes. I have a question for you. What are your thoughts when you're sitting there? Mhm. The same question I will ask you, what are your thoughts before you go to bed? Because the thoughts that you're having at that moment will eventually decide how your day is going. Now that you know this, realize that you have the power to moderate your thoughts, to decide on which thoughts am I going to entertain. You can prepare your morning thoughts. You can get up from your bed and declare it's going to be a great day. It's going to be a blessed day. I'm going to do great today. I know there are challenges, but I'm going to do good. You have that power in you to have those thoughts, to moderate those thoughts, to decide on those thoughts, right? So your thoughts will determine your day. It is the same when you're bringing up kids. And I want all the mothers, all the caregivers, if you're taking care of somebody, if you're taking care of a small child or a child in its 13th, or if you're talking to your sister, to your brother, a grown up, whatever you tell them, eventually, if they start believing it, they will become it. So if my thinking, if my words to my child is, girl, I know it's difficult, but you're going to do good, they're going to believe it. But it is the same if your thinking and thoughts will be, you're no good, you cannot make it, you're always making mistakes. And those words are mindless. That is a mindless act. So, mindfully is telling me when we talk about thoughts, make sure that the thoughts that you have are positive. Otherwise, move away from them. Because sometimes there are real things going on. Things are difficult, true. But is it going to be that my full day is going to be a difficult day? I might lose my job, true. But am I going to entertain? I'm losing my job, I'm losing my job, I'm losing my job the whole day? No, I'm going to declare I'm not losing my job. And if I lose my job, I'm going to do this, this, and this. You prepare yourself. So you are in control of your thoughts. Move away from negative thoughts. Move away from damaging thoughts. And that means sometimes you have to move away from some friendship between brackets. There are some people when they call you and you're like, oh my God. After 30 minutes talking to them, you're almost as depressed or more depressed than them. So then you have to wonder, who am I going to and entertain, allow to entertain my thoughts, my thinking, my day? So what I'm telling you is, it is a mindful act to delete, unfriend some people in your life. It's not so kind of me to say, right? But it's the truth. And I'm a coach. I'm not going to lie to you. There may be some people in your life that you have to see them once a month and talk to them once every 2 months. There are some people in your life that you will embrace and have a mindful activity with them. And some of them, you have to look them from afar and say, hi, oh, see you later. That's mindfulness. A conscious decision to experience moment to moment, feeling moment to moment, hearing moment to moment, in the present moment, in the here and now, making a conscious decision about what you're allowing in your life. Thoughts, separate yourself from negative thoughts and embrace positive thoughts, positive reinforcement, or make your own positive quotes, right? Next, awareness. All of this, all of the things that I've told you, practicing, reading, body scan, your thoughts, the only way that you can practice mindfulness is if you are aware. That's why awareness is there. If you are aware all the time of your own mindless actions. So I'm going to go back with you. You remember we talked about mind full? Your mind is full with everything that is going on. You know that you are the one allowing it. You're allowing your mind to be full with everything going on. That means that you have the ability and the power to decide, what am I filling up my mind with? But to do that, you have to be aware. Awareness is the key for practicing mindfulness. Aware that I'm eating while I'm driving. Aware, like I told you my story, I'm driving, but I'm not really there because I went through red light without realizing until 30 minutes later, 15 minutes later, aware that I have all these mindless actions and activities in my life that is giving me a hectic life. Awareness. Being aware of your mindless action will help you be mindful. And once you are aware of it, you start practicing mindfulness more and more. You change the way you behave at home with your kids. You change the way you behave at home with your husband, your partner. You change the way you behave at work. How many times we are having a break, right? You're at work and there is a 30 minutes break. And you're like, oh my God, I have so many things to finish. So I'm going to eat, drink, answer the email, answer my colleagues, and engage in a story somebody's telling at the same time. But let me tell you something. Did you know that men are so much better in mindfulness than women? It's not proven, but I know because I've lived it. Let me tell you why. When you ask a man, when a man is doing something, and you tell them, can you do that also? They will tell you, I can do one thing at the same time, girl. They will tell you, whoa, 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 wait a minute. My dear husband will tell you, I can do one thing at the same time. So we will finish the one and then he will do the other. And we're like, oh my God, you need to do, I'll do so many things at the same time. And sometimes we are really proud of doing more than one thing at the same time, but it's a mindless act. So I want to leave this with you this afternoon, this evening. Being aware of your mindless act will eventually help you practice mindfulness every single day. When I start catching myself in mindless act, I changed it. And I start living a more fulfilling life. Being aware of your mindless actions will help you have a more controlled life, a better heart rate, less stress, a better blood pressure, a more happy life because you make conscious decision not to do a few things and a conscious decision to do a few things. You make a conscious decision to enjoy your meal and after enjoying your meal go back to work. You make a conscious decision to visit a friend or don't visit a friend. Except, and I'm going to say this also, except to getting out of your comfort zone to do something for somebody just to please them, while as a matter of fact, you don't want to do it. That's a mindless act. You're like, I want to relax or read a book for 10 minutes, for 30 minutes. Somebody call and tell, can you do me a favor? You're like, oh my God. As a matter of fact, oh no, I'm still going to do it. But while you're going to do that person that favor, you're like, I should not have done it. I should not have done it. I was relaxing at home. Now I'm doing so you're no now you're getting angry on your way doing this person a favor. That's mindless. Just tell them, not now. No, I cannot do it. Not today. Tell them something. Say no is part of being mindful. Saying enough is part of being mindful. Saying not today is part of being mindful. But most of all, saying yes to you is mindful. Telling yourself, I'm going to bed. I have had a hectic day at work, right? Or you just have been, now you have all these online trainings and courses and meetings. You have been through that. Now you close down your laptop. And what would be the mindless act after that? You go on your mobile now and you start scrolling down to all those comments about COVID, all those comments about everything's going wrong. And after all that hard work that you did in the morning, instead of having a mindful act of relaxing, putting on some some music, turning on, putting on some good smelling, how do you call that, a smell of lavender or something else, or having a body scan. Now you're scrolling through your mobile phone, irritating yourself of every nonsense people nowadays put on Facebook. Can you imagine that? So change your actions. Stop the mindless act and start being mindful. Start deciding to be mindful. Catch yourself being mindless. Recognize when it's a mindless act. Catch yourself filling up your mind with all of these things going on that are not really necessary for you to have in your mind. They are going on. We are living in this world. And same as you, I'm aware of everything going on. The point is, I decide not to let it fill up my mind. I make a conscious decision to what I hear, to what I see, what I smell. And when I'm eating, I'm enjoying every single bite. Every single bite. I take my time, I sit down, and I eat. And I enjoy every single bite, every single zip of my tea. When I go to bed, and I've had this, and definitely as a coach, and I think there are more coach that are now logged in and listening to us. As a coach, you hear a lot of information, a lot of things happen, and we have to. And I've seen that during since we started with the pandemia, that a lot of stress going on and depression going on. So, and you aid people, right? You help them, you talk to them, but you know what that means? Even if you're not a coach and you have a partner or a family member that are talking to you, you have to deflate. It's like a balloon, you right? But you have to deflate. And if you don't take the time to deflate, sooner or later, you will burn. I urge you, and in 1 hour, and we've almost been through an hour, I'm not able to teach you everything about mindfulness. But I have tried to explain to you the difference between mindless, mindful, and mindfulness. Because if you understand this, if you embrace it, and if you start practicing it, you will live a different type of life, a better quality of life. And it doesn't matter that after we finish here, you try it out and it didn't work. It is about practicing. You remember what I said? Mindfulness is about practicing. It's about doing it again and failing, doing it again and it goes wrong, doing it again, try again and again. And eventually you will understand it. And once, and that happened to me, once I have mastered being mindful, that's my way of living. That is how I live, how I talk to people, how I interact with people, how I feel, how I hear, how I see things, and I'm enjoying every moment of it. I remember somebody told me, "You're always positive." I'm not sure if I'm always positive, but there is one thing that I know. I make sure that my actions are mindful, and that give me positivity. That give me a drive to wanting to live a better life every single day. It gives me a push, a positive push of adrenaline to want to do better. And as a coach, it gives me a motivation to encourage people every day to practice mindfulness. I want to leave you with one thing. In the process of trying to be mindful, thoughts will come up in your mind wondering, what am I doing? It's normal. But answer yourself, When that question come up, when you're doing the body scan or you're trying to relax before you go to bed, and you're like, oh my God, it's not working. What am I doing? Your answer should be, I'm taking care of me and I'm trying every day until I get better and better and better. That is what I want to leave with you about mindfulness. And it is a full training, as a matter of fact, with a lot of activities. And if you want to have more information, or if you want to talk with me about it, just look at my information, connect with me. And I'm praying and believing that one day we're going to meet face to face in Holland, back in Holland, in Curacao, and we are going to do these activities together. We are going to share together. We are going to teach each other and share with each other what it is really to care for you. Self care, self love, realizing how important it is to be mindful is amazing. Oh, I'm looking at a question. Mindful is indeed very good for your personal health, but how do you deal with the people who live with you and do not understand or does give you the space tomorrow? Oh yeah. Oh my God. Yes. Yes. I got a question there. I want to answer it before we close down. We have a few minutes, right, Tammy? We have like 7 minutes. I'm going to answer that because it's an important question. By the way, I have for the person I cannot see who asked the question, but let me tell you something. You can even be mindful when you're angry. People will get angry to you because they don't understand that you're trying to be mindful. It's true. So one of the things that you can do is you know how your day is. And if that somebody is close to you, then you make sure that when they go to bed, you practice. When they are not at home, you practice because that is also mindful. You have to be smart. If somebody is irritating because you decide, I'm going to spend 30 minutes in the room alone and they get angry, or your kids, they don't want you. They're like, mommy, mommy. I remember, I'm going to tell that story another time. When they're at the door knocking and want to ask you 1001 question, at the moment you're in your room, they have questions. The moment you want 30 minutes, then you have to do it when they are not around, when they are asleep, or you give them something else to do. So you take your time. You have to build in your time to be mindful. Nowadays in Curacao, we cannot go to the beach, but that would have been a good one. Taking those 30 minutes, taking those 1 hour and tell them, listen, I'm going to be away for 30 minutes. I'm going to be away for an hour so you can practice mindfulness. Did that answer your question? If not, you can contact me. Please elaborate how to deflate after talking with others. Oh my God, yes. You can deflate after talking to somebody else or while you're talking to somebody else. And I'm going to teach you both. When you're in a conversation and the heat is going up, one of the thing I do is what they do in sport, timeout. I'm like, give me 5 minutes. I really need to go to the ladies' room, right? Or let's take a break so we can relax for a few minutes. You just ask for timeout if you're in a conversation. So you can go back, walk out of the room, go to the ladies' room, close the door, and breathe. You know, the exercise of breathing. Go online, you'll find a lot on YouTube. Inhale, exhale, count from 10 to zero. When there's a lot of heat and a lot of discussion, I will count from 20 to zero. Because then I'm too excited or too angry or too anxious, then I go from 20. Don't do 1 to 10 or 1 to 20. You'd have to go down 10, 9. The same way as you're counting down, the same way your breathing will get slower, your heart rate will get slower, and you will deflate. That's one of the way to do it. But there's a lot of way to deflate, whether you're in the conversation or after the conversation. Can you also use this technique, body scan, to deal with emotional pain? Exactly. Yes. Yes, you can. You can deal with that. You can. The body scan technique is a amazing technique. The first time I did it, I wasn't sure what I was doing or I didn't understand. I'm like, what am I doing? I don't feel anything. But it is until you're quiet down, until you lay down quietly and you feel. You will also realize, where am I having pain? I must tell you, I have a lot of back pain, pain in my bones. But once I lay down quietly, inhale. There you go. Practice the two of them together. Inhaling slowly, you start feeling, where is my pain? Why is my pain there? You can be more clear when you go to a doctor to tell them where you're feeling the pain. Because sometimes people tell, I have pain all over. You have pain all over because you're not dealing with the one key place where the pain is. Definitely, if it is emotional pain. Do we have a few minutes? I'm going to talk. I'm going to answer. I'm talking for a few minutes about the emotional pain. You know why emotional pain will drag on for a long time? Because we don't deal with the emotions. Have you heard of it? Somebody die and we tell each other at the funeral, don't cry? That is wrong. I don't even want to think about it. I ask people not to do that. We are in pain, or we are having emotional pain, but we don't deal with it because we want to keep our composure. We want to be the bigger girl, the bigger guy. We don't want to be the one that cry. Cry it out, girl. Cry it out, gentlemen. It's okay to cry because then you're releasing all that is the holding up into your body. It will release with crying. Crying isn't there just for the fun of it. Crying is release of pain. Cry it out, talk it out, scream it out. And then you will be able to deal with your emotional pain. And body scan is part of it. Sometimes when you're quiet, you start crying for no reason. It is because inside of you, there is some pain that you've been holding on to or acting as if it's not there, but it will come out. Once you're quiet, once you get into that safe space of being relaxed. How do you become a neuroscience coach? Oh my God, I can give you a lot of sites where you can become a neuroscience coach. I have done neuroscience coaching in Australia. And you might, why? Because I like to be an international. I am an international person. I have done my first training in Holland, my second one in the USA, and neuroscience coaching in Australia for no specific reason, simply because I wanted to know how are they doing the neuroscience coaching at the part of the world, just to have a lot of invalshoeken, they say, a lot of input from different countries. That's why I did it in Australia. But I have a few sites that I can share with the person who asked this question. Connect with me later on, and I will give you the sites where you can become a neuroscience coach. How to do the switch? I have tried, but I feel this is a switch of what? To do the switch, which switch? Can you elaborate a little bit more? Switch from being angry. I can imagine that different mindful activities are better for different people, right? Do you also work with personality types? Yes, definitely. Um, if we go into that, I will speak another 3 hours. You realize that I like to talk and interact, right? No, but we can't. Yes, I do. Once I realize which personality the person has, because I have a test that I do, then I know how and which activity will work better with a type of person. Yes, I use that. Is the combination of music and quiet good for mindfulness? Yes, both is. You can do two things. You can be quiet to listen to your body. You can be quiet to feel your body. And you can use music. Specifically, I have worked with instrumental music that work very well in mindfulness. When you go to bed, people with insomnia, then cannot sleep at night, what we did, and we have tried it out, is you put some instrumental music. And instrumental music, they're using different instruments, right? So, and you ask the person, or you tell yourself, I'm going to listen in this instrumental music only to the piano, or only to the bass, or only to the guitar, or the saxophone. Just choose in the instrumental music one instrument to concentrate on, and you're gonna count the amount of time, or you're gonna, if it is, sometimes you can hear a bird. So I did it also with waterfall and birds. You're gonna make a choice to listen to one specific thing in the instrumental music: the waterfall, the bird, the cricket, or the piano and you concentrate on that one thing, you will see also that your mind will deflate, your body will relax if you do that. So, yes, quietness can help you with mindfulness, but also music. Maybe I should explain why not a music with singing music. You can use a singing music, but if somebody is singing and they're singing about being happy or my heart is broken, and that's your current situation, you're gonna think about, oh my God, my heart also has been broken. So when you want to get into a mindful mood, use instrumental music or just quietness or the rush of the sea, the movement of the sea. I like to do mindful swimming. Yes, this is amazing to relax your mind after a day of work. You know what? I love it. I do mindful swimming early in the morning. Can you imagine? Guys, at 5 o'clock, I'm at the beach. Once the beach open backs again in Curacao, I'm gonna swim, and I'm swimming every day, with the exception of Sunday. Every day at 5 o'clock, I'm at the beach swimming. That is amazing. You know what it is? I will just throw myself on the water and just relax. That is amazing. Yes, I agree with the person that commented. Yes, it is awesome. Mindful swimming. Yes, my pleasure. And I have a lot more. There's a lot more information we can share. But you know what? Start practicing. Find your mindful action every day and just do it. Yes, mindful jogging is also great in the morning. And when you put in some music, that is amazing. That will relax your full body. For somebody like me that cannot or is not allowed to jog, mindful swimming will help. But the point is, do whatever help you be mindful, relax you, deflate you, make that rush of positive energy and oxygen going to your mind. Just do it and enjoy a better fulfilled life and eventually a better health. That's very important for you to understand. Yes, my pleasure. I think yes. Oh my God, great. It's already, oh, we are past the hour. Guys, thank you so much. Yes, painting. Oh, I didn't tell you about my painting, but you don't want to hear that story now. Yes, painting also helps a lot. Even if you're not a painter like me, you don't know. I paint something like, oh my God, what was that? But I still enjoy it. It was mindful. I enjoy the colors. I enjoy my imagination. I enjoy the fact that I can, and sometimes with your hands. I've seen people painting with their hands. It's also very relaxing, right? Temi, yes, mindful writing. Amazing. Oh my God, that's great. I really love to, and I'm gonna cross my fingers, but most of all, pray that these days where we are locked down will be over soon, and we will meet and have some great mindful experience together. Yes, knitting. That's another one. Oh, that remind me of my dear Natasha knitting. Oh my God, yes. Amazing. Thank you guys so much for sharing, for asking the questions. Connect with me if you want. And let's be mindful together. Let's have a better quality of life. At the end of the day, do you realize that you have only one life? So let's have a better quality of life. And in that process, be mindful about it. I have to say bye bye, no, Tammy? Thank you guys. Love you guys. I appreciate you tuning in, sharing with me. It was a great pleasure for me to share with you. It was a great pleasure. Tammy, thank you so very much for inviting me in the group Sharing and Caring to share about mindfulness. Thank you. Bless you. Be mindful. Take good care of yourself and stay safe.